Hey, hello, welcome to another spooky night. Tonight we're going to have a couple of tales from Mexico, and some of them are very spooky. Let's see. Gonna go find them. I got them here saved up. Let me see. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, let's see. What can we do? Hey, how are you out there? Well, our first legend will take us to the island of the dolls in Mexico City. Well, let me pick something here. Something I gotta move so I can see the. Okay, just give me a couple of seconds and I'll. Okay, okay, here we go. The story is called The Island of the Dolls, Home of the Restless Spirits. The Island of the Dolls, located in the canals of Xochimilco, Mexico City, is a real place that has become a symbol of terror. It is said that a man named Don Julian sat down and lived alone on the island and in around a doll floating in the water. He hungered to within he hungered in a tree as a tribute to a girl died in who had died in the canal. However, Don Julian claimed that the dolls came to life and haunted him. The story of the Island Dolls of the example of the dolls is an example of real life haunted location and has attracted many curious visitors and horror enthusiasts. Well, according to the legend, they say back like in the early 70s or something, there was a little girl who drowned in that canal. But Mr. Julian couldn't save her, and he saw in horror, and he saw how the little he saw the, in horrors how the little girl had died, and he would collect all these dolls because of to keep her memory, and that. And here I'm gonna say here's a one is a nagual. A nagual is a figure, kind of like in the American Native tradition of skinwalker. The Nagual is a figure from Mexican folklore that is said to possess the ability to transform into different animals, especially a jaguar or a black dog. It is believed that Naguales are witches or sorcerers who use their ability for evil purposes. The story tells how during the night a Nagual can take on an animal from take an animal form and harm people. The story is terrifying because it implies that the possibility that someone close may be a Nagual and wreak havoc in the people's lives. Here's the one called El Charro Negro, which is one of the El Charro Negro is a suspected figure said to ride through the Mexican countryside at night. It is depicted as a rider dressed in black mounted on a black horse. According to the legend, Charro Negro appears on lonely roads, pursuing travelers and playing tricks on them. Those who encounter him often face a series of tragedies. El Charro is a symbol of fear in the dark nights of Mexico. Well, according to the legend, has it that many, many years ago, there was a poor peasant who dreamed of being rich, when seeing his bosses, wearing the best suits, jewelry, and all that stuff. And he just dreamed of being a rich man. So one day, in a desperate mood, he decided he was going to sell his soul to the devil. So he was going to sell his soul to the devil. So he made a pact with the devil, and the devil complied with him, and he made him rich and powerful. But but the devil gave them a certain time when all of this was going to end. Gave him a certain time and date. This wasn't permanently, okay? Because the devil had plans of taking him to hell. So as time came by, the peasant was really, really scared. He knew the devil was going to come and get him, and there was no way he was gonna that he was gonna win. He was gonna win. So he decided to face them. But the devil came and said, "You can't defeat me. You're mine. You're coming with me." So the devil took him. So like they say, so legend has it that they have seen the figure roaming some the countryside of Mexico, looking for victims and nothing. The story of La Llorona is one of the West. Hey, how are you? How are you? Well, here's a tale I'm going to tell you right now. It's called Legend of la Mujer Heredada. I do not know when this matter happened, senor, but my grandfather, who told me about it, spoke as though all three of them, the priest and the blacksmith and the woman, had lived a long while before his time. However, my grandfather said that the priest and the woman, now it happened out on a night. Okay, here's a story. This is among the chilling stories present in urban folklore. According to the legend, people reported seeing the beautiful young girl, a ghost, roaming around subway corridors, corridors late at night near some more remote and darker underground stops. People say she's a total mess with filthy clothes and a ragged and hair. Also, she's an unwelcome entity, and her appearance can unnerve those around her. The legend follows that she sometimes leads innocent young men in the metro subway into dark spots with her sweet talk, or by talking, or by faking a need for help. This is where things get really gruesome. When people walk alone in the metro, she goes she goes for her prey with a strength not of this world, and starts to devour them. That's one legend. They're saying about legends of the subway of Mexico City. And here's another one. Here's a tale. Says my most bizarre moment at the metro was when I experienced a glitch in reality. It is well known that in Mexico City subway, some portals take you to different realities due to the powerful electricity and energy underneath one of the most popular cities in the world. I remember arriving at a station, waiting a few seconds, and then arriving at the next station, which was the same one had passed a few seconds before. It's like time stands still in this place. In the subway, there are thousands of terrifying stories because it has a lot of energy, both positive and negative. There are the legends of the puppet man, the smiling woman, and the vampire of Barranca del Muerto, among others. Urban legends in Mexico are the best ways to learn about the culture and folklore of this interesting and peculiar country. The most popular urban legends have made an enduring. All started one night, like any other night. It was late, and the trains were empty, or the trains were empty. And at service, hmm, a young man, a young man scared, a young man took the last train home. His destiny, casual, was was the station of the Barranca del Muerto. That means the devil's hell. Punto de la línea. El can- Okay, this is a story. I'm going to tell a story about a vampire, a legendary vampire. I mean, you don't have to believe it, but it took place in the Mexico City subway. We have some strange names in Mexico City. This 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 scary tale takes place at the last metro station on Line 7, the Orange Line. The end of the stop is called the Barranca del Muerto, which translation means ravine of Gully of the Dead. This station bears the name because it was built near the site of a mass grave, a trench filled with bodies of soldiers killed during the Mexican Revolution in the early part of the 20th century. It is the fitting that the area would be full of unsettled spirits. The famous legend involving the Barranca del Metro begins when the metro ends. In the wee hours of the morning, when all the trains stop, a man who fell asleep on the train suddenly woke up to find that he was alone in the train, and the train was parked in a tunnel for a night. He got out, he got out of the train and onto the tracks where he spotted two men fighting in the tunnel. One was taller and the other, and it looked like he was killing the shorter man. The man who fell asleep went over to the two men to try to break up the fight. And this when he noticed that the taller man was beating the neck of the other man, which was bleeding profusely. The man screamed vampire and ran as fast as he could to the nearest police station. There he was met with a ridiculous when he told the story to the authorities. Some say this legend is based on a story that the person was just witnessing a really bad drunken fight. The biting was not from a vampire, but from a person who was just temporarily out of sorts. Others say this story was connected to scare younger people into paying attention while they're into paying attention while they are on the train. It would be rather easy for a for a commuting teenage student to fall asleep while taking a night train. Perhaps thoughts of vampires have kept many Mexico City commuters upright and awake even on the trains of the day. The Witch of Garibaldi Station. The Gray Line meets the Green Line at the Green Line's northern terminus at the station called Garibaldi. The station is named for Plaza Garibaldi, an important landmark nearby named after Giuseppe Garibaldi, the second soldier in the Mexican Revolution. Soldier, the second, a soldier in the Mexican Revolution serving under Madero. There is nothing spectacular about this station, it does get very busy as major transport point between lines. Since the station opened in 1994, hundreds of commuters and transit workers have reported seeing a floating woman wearing all black, including a black veil. Sometimes she appears only in a silhouette form and seems to glide gracefully over the platform and the tracks, not making a sound. Sometimes her appearance is scarier and more hideous. Beneath the veil, beneath the veil is the same face of a haggard old woman with sour countenance, intending to harm a people. She is said to go after unattended children to take back to her hair located somewhere within the depths of the subway tunnels. So parents beware. Some believe that the apparition is not a witch, but a ghost of a Spanish nobleman whose family owned the land surrounding the metro station during colonial times. She is unfaithful to her husband or committing some other strange transgression when she was alive, so she is condemned to haunt the Garibaldi station as a ghost. You decide.